Hey guys, what's going on? It's Silent here, and today we're playing some Warframe. So in today's video, I want to show you guys the best Warframes and weapons for starting out in this game. And I'm going to kind of recommend some things that you go kind of later on for. So we're going to try to keep this short, sweet, and simple. So this game doesn't really hold your hand, and there's a lot of content to kind of figure out. And one of the major things is to get rid of that starter weapon. And your starter frame is pretty decent depending on which one you pick. If you're just now trying to pick a starter frame, out of the three that's listed, I suggest that you get Excalibur because he scales pretty well even into kind of later game. A lot of people don't really use him for late game, but he can get you through those first few planets no problem. And especially get rid of those first weapons, they're pretty bad. So we're going to go up here to the market. And we're going to search by category, go to weapons. We're going to start with primaries first. Blueprints only. Actually, I'm not going to do blueprints only. So the first gun that I'm going to recommend to you guys is the Bratton. So this is a pretty easy assault rifle to make. You can make it right off the bat to replace one of those Mark 1 weapons. And although it's not the best ever, it can definitely get you through Earth no problem. And through those first few planets, so it's pretty good to kind of just level this up and kind of, you know, just use it around a little bit. So another one that I'm going to suggest to you guys is the Carrick. So this requires you to be Master Rank 1, which isn't too much of an issue. Right here, this is pretty much an assault rifle. It's pretty decent starting out with. It can get you to those first few planets, and it's pretty easy to build. The only hard thing to get is probably Nerodes, to be quite honest. And last thing I'm going to leave you guys with, you kind of have to be a little bit of a higher rank for it, is the Bolter. This gun can literally probably get you through the entire game. I'm not even kidding when I say that. Like, this is a pretty good weapon to start out with, and I know that I kept this gun for a very long time, and it's a very good gun if you build it right. So definitely good for starter frames. This is the #1 weapon I'm going to recommend anyone who starts playing this game to try out, is the Bolter. It's insane, so definitely try that out. The only downside is you have to be Mastery Rank 2 for it. Now we're going to look at secondary weapons, and there's the only one that I'm going to really recommend to you guys. There's plenty of them here, just kind of look around, but the main one that we're going to take a look at is the Lex, if I can find it. So this Lex right here. The only downside is that you have to be Mastery Rank 3, so until then, any of these little like pistols up here will do, like these like anything like this. Well, that's Mastery Rank 4. That's Mastery Rank 8. Anything that's lower Mastery Rank, okay? I don't really know. You're just going to have to look around. Your secondary doesn't really matter too much. Like, just something simple. I don't even know. Most of those are kind of a higher Mastery Rank. But the Lex is great. It's kind of like a Desert Eagle. It does a lot of range, and you can pretty much mod it to do very well. And if you can see here, I even had, well, I have the Lex Prime version, which is even better than the Lex, and I still use it to this day. I use the Lex Prime as my primary secondary. It kind of doesn't go together, but it's definitely a very good gun to try to get. So definitely try to get the Lex. If you like it, then go for the Lex Prime. And then for melee weapons, I'm only going to also recommend one of these because this one's got me through a big part of the game. Some people might not agree with me when I say this, but the Galatine. Only downside is you have to be Mastery Rank 3. Really not that hard to get Mastery Rank up to like 1, 2, and 3. It goes by pretty quick as long as you just keep playing and trying out different Warframes and weapons. So this Galatine is insane. Very easy to build once you get to that Mastery Rank 3, and I guarantee that you'll have no problems getting into late game with this, because I still use this. I even use the non-prime version. It's my main melee weapon. So that's the melees I'm going to recommend. So now we're going to move down here, and I'm actually going to show you some good starter frames. So this one is going to be my #1 recommended to you guys, is Frost. So Frost Prime, we're just going to go ahead and equip them, look at his abilities. So it has a freeze ability, which is kind of like a one-man pretty much crowd control. So you can freeze pretty much one enemy, and it kind of does expand out a little bit, but this is great for attacking one big enemy. You can kind of freeze them and have your team kind of go after him, so it's pretty good. This ice wave, what it does is it sends like a line of this ice down, and it kind of just damages everything in its path. It's pretty cool. The snow globe is what makes him the best defensive frame in the game. You can throw this up over an objective and it slows enemies that go inside of it, and it kind of creates like a shield on the outside. So it's very useful for like defensive missions. And this avalanche is a great AoE kind of crowd control thing. You hit it and it kind of makes a big circle around you of ice and kind of does a lot of damage. So he's a pretty good frame. It's very easy to figure out, and it's just great. He's a great frame. So the other one we're going to look at is Rhino, and this is another one that I'll recommend for newer players. I don't actually own Rhino with me right now, but I think that there's a way that I can go into this codex and show you guys him. I haven't used this codex in a while, my bad guys. So we're going to try to find Rhino. Where's he at? Right here. Here's Rhino. As you can see, I've mastered him. I think I've used Rhino Prime. I'm not really sure. There's a Prime version of Rhino as well. No, I haven't used Rhino Prime. So Rhino was a frame that I kept for a very long time. And as you can see here, he has pretty good armor, great energy, great health, great shield. And pretty much what he does is his first one is like a charge. The second one is Iron Skin, which pretty much lets you be invincible as long as you have energy. It creates kind of this like armor around you, and it's pretty OP. And then you have the Roar, which gives everyone kind of nearby an increased damage for a short duration. And this Rhino Stomp is great at crowd control. Pretty much you stomp the enemies and it does damage and knocks them down. It's pretty great. So Rhino is probably the best and easiest frame you're ever going to get. Definitely, he's very easy to get, and you shouldn't have any problems using Rhino. He's pretty good. So something that I'm going to give an honorable mention to, which it's not really the easiest frame to get, but it's something that's carried me through a lot of the game, is Valkyrie. So you might be looking at me like, Valkyrie, what? So Valkyrie's abilities, the Rip Line, lets you pretty much hook enemies towards you, and you can hook into walls and kind of fly around the map. That's mostly what I use it for, is to kind of just go around the map. This War Cry pretty much gives your allies like melee speed, and it slows down enemies. The Paralysis, pretty much what this does is it stuns enemies and damages them. And this Hysteria is what's really OP about Valkyrie, is that she can hit her 4 ability, and depending on what kind of melee weapon you have, this is kind of a invincibility slash insane melee damage type ability. So what you can do here is put on something like the Galatine and have it modded out pretty well, as you can see here. Not the best modded out, but it's what I got. And you stack this on the 4 ability, and it does most damage than most primary weapons can even do to an enemy, and you're invincible the whole time. So if you build this for duration and efficiency, we'll see here, I have it set for duration, efficiency, and strength. My range isn't that good. This can actually last you a long time if you keep energy. So Valkyrie is pretty good. I've used her most of the game that I've played, like this entire time I've played Warframe. She's great for solo players like me. She's great for people that wants to get into a team and dominate. And she can pretty much compete with a lot of frames on damage per second, and even tanking, because you're pretty much invincible. So that's the Warframes I'm going to mention for this tutorial. And so now we're going to go ahead and get into something that I want to do. I want to show you guys this weapon right here, which is the Soma Prime, which you're going to have to be kind of up there in the ranks to unlock it. As you can see here, we'll look in the codex. It should tell us, we go into our weapons. So if I can find the Soma Prime. Right here, you have to be Mastery Rank 7, which does take a while. But once you get to Mastery Rank 7, this is a great primary. This is my main primary right now. There is probably better guns out there, but this is definitely the one that I use the most. And an honorable mention is the regular Soma, which requires Mastery Rank 6, which is also a great kind of primary to get as soon as you hit that Mastery Rank 6. Soma Prime's great. You can build it very well and do a ton of damage. So I'm going to show you guys what a normal loadout would look like for me. I'm kind of a Mastery Rank 12. Usually I'll take in Valkyrie with the Soma Prime, Lux Prime, and Galatine. I don't have the Galatine Prime, but I'm kind of working on it. I took a little bit of a break from this game. I'm trying to get back, and then pretty much it's pretty much the same loadout if I use something else. I don't have my Necros Prime maxed out yet, but if I use my normal Necros, kind of the same loadout. But yeah, it's a pretty great little setup there. But that's pretty much all I want to talk about for this video. I don't want to make it too long, don't want to add in a lot of unnecessary stuff, but that's pretty much the primaries, secondaries, melees, and warframes I suggest that you start out with in Warframe. And as you're using these frames and weapons, each player plays this game a little bit different, so if you go on the forums and stuff, everyone will kind of have like a different Warframe that they say is the best Warframe and stuff. It just depends on your play style. Honestly, you gotta find your play style in this game and just stick with it. If you're using a frame and you can do good with it, don't let anyone tell you that it's a bad frame, unless it really is just a bad frame. There is definitely some frames in this game that is not good, but that's pretty much just my opinion on the best starter kind of things to go for in this game. So hopefully you all enjoyed this tutorial. If you want to see more, be sure to comment below. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.